What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Steven Osentoski here of MGoFish, bringing you another episode of Recruit Review. This is the series where we cover scouting, ranking, film, everything there is to know about the 2020 recruiting class for Michigan football. Today, we're covering the 4-star wide receiver out of Illinois, AJ Henning. Thanks to those who participated in the poll for episode 3. You can see the results here. AJ Henning won by quite a bit there. Remember, guys, your comments here on the videos, over on Twitter, those influence who I choose for my next episodes, as well as the individuals I put within each of the poll. So click the little icon up there. That'll give you a chance to vote, and I may choose that winner for the next video. Without further ado, let's get into the analysis for AJ Henning. As I mentioned, he's out of Illinois. He went to Lincoln Way East. His hometown is Frankfort, Illinois. He was state champion in his sophomore year, so that was back in 2017, and his senior year in 2019. He ran track and played football. He was a track star mainly in the 100. I think he also ran the 200 and 400. I could be wrong, but he was mainly a 100 speedster. Let's get right into his ratings, guys. So all services have him as a 4-star. He's pretty tight range from 100 to about 130. He's unanimously around 18 to 25 wide receiver in the 2020 class, and he's a top 3 recruit within Illinois. He's the number 1 recruit out of that state, according to ESPN. All services have him around 5'10", 180, 185 range. He started out as a 5-star, top 25. He had some injury issues his sophomore year as well as his junior year, which took out a big chunk of his junior year. So as a hip flexor. So he saw a gradual decrease in rankings. I think that's the main reason, so just take that with a grain of salt. All right, let's look at his metrics here. His 40 time, 4.46. That's a good time. I wouldn't call it elite. Just for reference, though, DPJ at the 2020 Combine ran a 4.48. So this is a guy who has comparable, if not a little bit better speed than DPJ. His shuttle is 4.08, which is excellent. It would be the top of the 2020 NFL Combine wide receivers, so that's a really good time. And his vertical of 37.3, solid. That would be middle of the pack for wide receivers of the 2020 draft class. Really good vertical, so obviously he has pretty high athleticism already. He did run track his junior year. He was 4th in the 100-meter dash with a 10.73. I did see times in the 10.6 range, but none that were official that I could report here. All right, I'll throw his stats up here as well. So 2019, obviously, he had a lot more production than his junior year. Remember, 2018, he did have an injury that took him out for most of that season. So 2019, he had over 800 yards receiving, over 600 yards rushing, 29 total touchdowns. He was active on punt return and kick return as well, so kind of all over the place. In terms of offers, so he visited all 4 of Georgia, Notre Dame, Penn State, and Michigan before eventually committing to Michigan. He had offers from Stanford, Northwestern, and Duke, so you can tell that he's a high academic guy. He also had offers from Bama, LSU, Clemson, and most of the Big Ten, including OSU. So pretty much you throw a dartboard at the NCAA, they probably offered this guy. For his recruitment, he had a ton of visits. So his offers started in 2017 with Northwestern. He had a steady stream of offers starting after that. As I said, he had 4 final visits in the summer of 19 before committing to Michigan. That was his last official visit before committing. He committed in June, late June of 2019. Early on, it was looking like Notre Dame was the choice for him. When JJ McCarthy, the Michigan 5-star quarterback commit for the class of 2021, also out of Illinois, when he committed to Michigan, that really brought AJ Henning along and was probably the major factor of Michigan landing AJ Henning here. AJ Henning and JJ McCarthy have been on the same 7-on-7 team, so obviously that goes a long way working with another elite talent that is McCarthy there. I have a comparison that I think Notre Dame was using to try to recruit Henning pretty heavily. But I think Michigan, with Gaddis and some promise there's a good role for Henning on this squad. Real quick on scouting. So I'll just go over kind of a list of things that people really like about him. And this is from 247, from Rivals, Twitter, all over the place. So elite speed. I don't call it elite. I would say it's great. 4.3s is elite. He has 4.4s, which is awesome speed. That's really great. He has good luck next time acceleration, and his 10 to 20 yard speed especially is elite. That is his best quality in my opinion here. He has some elusiveness after the catch, not his biggest upside. I would say he's better at getting to that speed and taking really good angles. He has excellent body control, explodes out of breaks, and sets up defenders well. 247, additionally, Alan True lauds his catching ability away from the body, so really flashes the hands away from his frame. And versatility, he can be used all over the field. He was deployed at running back, jet sweep, kick return, punt return, all over the place as an offensive weapon. The only negatives is that he needs some route running technique. He needs some possible footwork improvement there. Wide receiver technique overall, so the use of hands, getting away from jams. It didn't seem like he had a whole lot of that in high school, so obviously that'll be something to learn. And the biggest downside I read was that he can be inconsistent catching easy balls. Tons of film here on difficult balls that he is catching. If he has some hand issues on easier balls, obviously it's something to watch down the line. All right, let's get to the film. Let's go. All right, so this first section is his ability with tipped balls. And this whole section here will be tough catches. So that's one of his best qualities. But obviously you have good hand-eye coordination as a wide receiver. These clips really display his ability to focus on the ball despite falling down with tip balls from defenders. So he catches really well above his height. He flashes his hands late and away from his body. That doesn't give defensive backs a lot of time to react to the pass, and he really can go outside his frame to pull in a tough ball. He high points the ball excellently, so he times his jumps really well, and that's obviously very important at 5'10" on the outside. I think he's going to be a back shoulder nightmare. There's plenty here that you can see where he's perfectly timed on those. That'll only happen more in college, and that'll be a great asset. And then finally laying out for catches, balls that are not well thrown, balls that you have to adjust to or dive. It's not only back shoulder or high point balls. He can really ground a ball out that's low or, dive to the side as well. So he really, his catching radius overall is extremely high, and that's really good to see. And then he also has the ability to catch in traffic. So, that's only going to happen more at the high school level. It doesn't happen as much just because no one can really match that athleticism, but he showed good promise here with a couple scenarios of him catching the ball with some defenders on him. So he played for a good program. Obviously they played in some state championships, so he's no stranger to good competition, to good teams. So that'll only lend itself well to that sort of competition at a college level. Okay, these next couple clips are out of the backfield. So he displayed really good patience here. Really good vision as well. The vision you'll see on kick return and punt return as well. But his acceleration is really, really what I like. He turns the field very naturally from jet sweeps, and he just turns it on. He's able to get to that top speed really quickly. You saw this with Eamon Dennis in my last episode as well. He has possibly better acceleration. He sets up defenders really well ahead of time and takes good angles. That goes with vision. But he doesn't have that jitterbug acceleration, but he sets people up really well. He sees the field perfectly and does little subtle cuts there to really drive his foot in the ground and just speed away from everybody. So great sideline control as well. You saw a couple clips before that. He had a pretty good run through contact, but great sideline discipline. That just goes with athleticism as well. And then for routes, nothing too much here. This first clip, I want to slow this one down again, where he goes on a slant, slows down a little bit, and then really speeds up and goes slant and go. And that's really, really positive to see. So he's able to deceive cornerbacks really well, and he has really good timing on those routes. I want to see that more, but definitely something he can probably work on with his hands, with his footwork. So I want to see more with routes. Just didn't get a whole lot of that within the film. And then kick return and punt return. So he was used a lot for this. There's a lot of B-roll footage I have here that you probably saw earlier of his kick return and punt returns. I like his skill set a little bit more on kick return, just because I think there's better guys with this kind of in a phone booth juke guys out of their feet skill set, and he's more of a find an angle, set people up ahead of time, use that plus vision, and then use that acceleration and go. So I would love to see him in the kick return. He does appear to be comfortable fielding punts, so that could be an option as well. And then blocking, single clip here. So he was actually on a really nice route here. Quarterback decides to take off, willingness to block here. So obviously the ball ball didn't come to him, but the ability to turn upfield, look for the cornerback to block, that's really important, and that just shows a willingness to block, right? Ability to, without the ball in your hands, still make plays, and it sprung a touchdown here. All right, so the comparison that a lot of people are saying that I kind of see is Golden Tate. Golden Tate was a high 4-star, around 80th in the country, had lots of high offers, obviously went to Notre Dame and has had a really good NFL career. He's 5'10", 175 as a recruit, so right around the same spot that AJ Henning is. 4.42 40 speed, so maybe a little faster, but it's not out of this realm of possibility for Henning to get there by his senior year. So similarities there. I think Notre Dame had to be pushing that AJ Henning could be the next Golden Tate, right? Same skill set. Tate has a little bit more wiggle than I think AJ Henning has. Both have the ability to catch well away from the body comfortably, and that lends both Tate and Henning well for being an outside receiver, even though they kind of have the frame and the skill set of a more traditional slot back. So you can really put them all over the field, and Tate can obviously hack it on the outside. I think Henning can as well. Body control. That's one thing with a lot of these clips for that you see here of Golden Tate is his body control in the air, high pointing the ball. He really extends beyond his frame, and that is what lends himself well to the NFL, and on the outside, not just a slot jitterbug guy. Another comparison you could have is Jeremy Gallon. Jeremy Gallon was tiny, though. He was like 5'7", 5'8", but the same kind of thing. Anytime there's a jump ball, you could expect Jeremy Gallon to come down with it, played well outside of his frame. I think the athleticism AJ Henning brings to the table is a bit higher than Gallon ever had. Also has an inch or two on him. Gallon's production was phenomenal, so if Henning can get there, I'm not going to complain. I just think the ceiling is closer to Golden Tate's than Jeremy Gallon. So my projection, I have a really tough time projecting here. He's not an early enrollee. He is there academically, though, because he had the Duke offer, Northwestern, Stanford, so he doesn't have that adjustment period that a good number of freshmen have to go to without early enrollee. Given that, with the athleticism, I think if there's one offensive threat from a true freshman, it's going to be AJ Henning. I think it's easy to see 4 games out of him. I think you're going to see what you saw out of Cornelius Johnson last year, where garbage time, you get him in there, you get him a couple throws per game, get him comfortable, because next year you could have Nico Collins gone. If Ronnie Bell really blows up like I expect him to this year, you could see him going early. So outside of that, you have Cornelius Johnson, and then really nobody on the outside besides him and maybe Sainris still. So it's easy to see 4 games plus for Henning. I think you burn the red shirt, give him that experience, and just get him in garbage time, get him comfortable with the game, grow into that spot. And then 2021 onward, I see him on the outside, but again, he's a guy you can deploy all over the place, which really lends itself well to this speed and space offense under Josh Gaddis. All right, that's all I have for you guys today. Hopefully this was a quick one. It feels like I was a little bit better prepared this time around. Obviously, as always, if you like the content, like, comment, subscribe. If we can get to 50 likes, I'm going to commit to 2 episodes next week. So let me know if you guys want to see 2 episodes. Get to 50 likes. I appreciate all the support you guys have given thus far. Keep the suggestions coming. I really like to hear what you guys like to see for upcoming episodes. Beyond that, guys, thanks again. Stay safe out there. Wash your hands and go blue.